Have you ever met someone who is brilliant, like, top of the class smart, but they just can't keep a friend? Or maybe they explode in anger over small things. Well, today, we are going to find out why. Welcome back to the Speakly English podcast. I'm your host, Tom. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Speakly English podcast. Today, we are going to talk about a book that changed the way the world thinks about the brain. It's called Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I love this book. And here is why I want to share it with you today. In this episode, I am going to walk you through the main ideas of every chapter. But I'm going to do it in a special way. At the very beginning, I will use very, very simple English. Easy words. Slow sentences. Then, as we move forward, step by step, it will become a little more difficult. It's like we are walking up a small hill together. By the end, you will see how much your ear has improved. This book teaches us something that school usually forgets. Being smart isn't just about how fast you can solve a math problem, or how many history facts you remember. Daniel Goleman says that our feelings, our happiness, our sadness, our anger, they guide our lives. They help us build good relationships. They help us stay healthy. And when we truly understand our feelings, we can live a much calmer, happier life. So, please listen until the end. You will learn new ideas, new vocabulary, and you will feel your English grow stronger. Now, take a deep breath with me. Breathe in and out. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Chapter 1: What is emotional intelligence? So, this book is about feelings. Daniel Goleman says that being smart is not only about knowing things. It is also about understanding feelings. Your own feelings, and other people's feelings. Some people are good at math or science. They can read very fast. They can remember many facts. But sometimes, these people are not happy. They get angry quickly. They cannot work well with others. They have a strong mind, but a weak heart. Other people are different. They might not be the best student in school, but they are kind. They listen. They stay calm when things are hard. They have something very important. They have emotional intelligence. So, what is emotional intelligence? It means being smart with feelings. It's not about books or numbers. It's about using your heart and your brain together. Daniel Goleman says there are 4 big parts of emotional intelligence. The first part is knowing your feelings. You can look inside yourself and see what is happening. You can say, I feel happy, or I feel sad. You can also say, I feel angry, or I feel nervous. When you give your feeling a name, you start to understand yourself. The second part is controlling your feelings. This means you can stay calm. You don't let your anger control you. You don't cry or shout when it's not helpful. You can take a deep breath. You can wait. You can choose what to do next. The third part is understanding other people's feelings. You can see when someone looks sad or tired. You can hear their voice and know how they feel. Maybe they are quiet because they are shy. Maybe they are angry because they are worried. You can care about their feelings. You can say, are you okay? This is called empathy. Empathy means feeling with another person. The fourth part is using feelings in a good way. Feelings can help you make good choices. When you are happy, you can learn better. When you are nervous, you can prepare more. When you are sad, you can ask for help. Emotionally intelligent people use feelings as tools, not as problems. These 4 parts work together. They help you know yourself. They help you understand others. They help you live peacefully with people around you. Okay. Now, why is this so important? Let me tell you a little story. Imagine you are learning English. You are speaking in class, but you forget a word. A few classmates laugh a little. You feel hot. You feel embarrassed. Now you have two choices. Choice 1, you think, I am bad at English. I can't do this. You stop speaking. You feel small. Your learning stops. Choice 2, you think, it's okay. I am learning. Everyone makes mistakes. You smile. You keep going. And you finish your sentence. Which one is better? The second one, right? That is emotional intelligence. You saw your feeling, embarrassment, you calmed yourself down, and you used the feeling to keep learning. Daniel Goleman says that being clever is good, but understanding your feelings is even more important. It's like oil in a machine. It helps everything move smoothly. Chapter 2, When Smart People Act Foolish. Now, let's get into the second chapter. Goleman tells us something surprising here. He says that sometimes, very smart people do very stupid things. The word foolish means doing something silly, even when you know better. Many people think that if you have a high IQ, if you are a genius, life will be easy. They think that intelligence brings success, money, and happiness automatically. But Goleman says this is not true. Yes, being smart helps you understand information. But intelligence alone cannot teach you how to live well. Sometimes, people with very high IQs have no control over their emotions. They might know how to build a rocket, but they don't know how to say, I'm sorry. Goleman calls this, acting foolish. For example, imagine a scientist who can explain the stars and the universe. But every night, he goes home and shouts at his wife and children. He understands physics, but he does not understand emotions. That is a kind of foolishness. Life is full of emotions, disappointment, anger, fear, joy. If you can't manage those emotions, your intelligence is trapped. It can't help you because the emotional storm is too strong. Let's talk about failure. Failure means not succeeding. Maybe you failed a test. Maybe you didn't get a job. Maybe you tried to speak English and made a mistake. Everyone fails. Failure is normal. But what happens after failure? That is the key. Some people feel ashamed. They say, I'm useless. They give up. Other people feel sad for a minute, but then they think, what can I learn from this? They use failure as a teacher. An emotionally intelligent person says, yeah, I made mistakes today. But next time, I will be better. That small difference changes everything. Failure does not break you when your emotions are strong and gentle at the same time. Goleman explains that emotional intelligence is like a muscle. You can make it stronger with practice. You practice when you pause before replying to an angry message. You practice when you forgive someone instead of staying mad. Every time you choose peace over anger, your emotional muscle grows. Chapter 3, The Brain and Emotions. Okay, let's get a little scientific now. But don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Daniel Goleman explains how our brain works when we feel emotions. Our brain is not just one thing. It has different parts. Some parts help us think slowly. Other parts act very fast when there is danger. Goleman says we have two important parts. The first part is the emotional brain. This part lives deep inside your head. It is small but very strong. Its job is to protect you. Think of it like a little alarm system. When something happens suddenly, a loud sound, a scary face, your emotional brain reacts immediately. It doesn't stop to think. It just screams, danger. Then your body changes. Your heart beats fast. You breathe quickly. Your hands sweat. You don't decide to do this. It just happens. It is trying to keep you safe. For example, if a car comes too close, you jump back without thinking. That is your emotional brain. But sometimes, this alarm makes a mistake. It goes off even when there is no danger. Maybe someone says something you don't like, and suddenly you are furious. Your emotional brain is acting like a fire alarm that rings even when there is no fire. Goleman calls this an emotional takeover. It's like your feelings are driving the car, and your thoughts are sleeping in the back seat. The second part is the thinking brain. This part is at the front of your head, right behind your forehead. This part helps you think, plan, and make choices. If the emotional brain is a fast alarm, the thinking brain is a calm teacher. The thinking brain takes its time. It asks questions. Is this really a problem? What is the best thing to say? Should I speak or stay quiet? The best situation is when both parts work together. Your emotional brain gives you energy and passion. Your thinking brain gives you control. When they work together, you feel balanced. You can show your feelings but also stay calm. So, how do we train our brain to stay calm? Breathe slowly. Take a deep breath. This tells your body, I am safe. Pause. Before you react, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. This gives your thinking brain time to wake up. Name the feeling. Say to yourself, I feel angry. When you name it, it becomes smaller. When your heart and your mind work together, you can make better decisions. That is the real beauty of emotional intelligence. Chapter 4, Self-Awareness. Now we move to the foundation of everything. Self-awareness. Self-awareness means knowing what you feel and why you feel it. It's like turning on a small light inside your mind. When the light is on, you can see clearly. When the light is off, everything is dark and confusing. Every day, we feel many things. Happiness, sadness, boredom, excitement. But sometimes, we feel them without noticing. We just know we are in a bad mood. We don't know why. Self-awareness helps us stop and ask, what exactly am I feeling right now? If you can name it, I feel nervous because of the test tomorrow, you have already won half the battle. When you can name your emotion, you take the first step toward controlling it. If you don't name it, it controls you. You might shout at someone and later think, why did I do that? That happens because your feelings were driving the car. Goleman says that when we name our emotions, they lose power. The moment you say, I am disappointed, your brain starts to calm down. Words organize feelings. Silence lets them grow bigger. Your body gives you clues about your emotions, too. When you are angry, your shoulders get tight. When you are nervous, your stomach feels strange. When you are sad, your body feels heavy. Listen to these signals. They are part of self-awareness. You can say, my shoulders are tight. Maybe I am angry. Then you can take a deep breath and stretch. Goleman calls self-awareness the foundation. A foundation is the bottom of a building. Everything else stands on it. Without knowing yourself, you cannot control yourself. This is the quiet secret of emotional intelligence. Chapter 5, Self-Control. So, we know what we feel. Now, what do we do with it? That brings us to self-control. Self-control means managing your emotions, not letting them manage you. It is like holding the steering wheel of a car. The car is your emotion, strong and full of energy. If you don't hold the wheel, it will crash. If you hold it gently, it can take you anywhere. We all feel angry or upset. That's human. But people with high emotional intelligence learn to pause before they react. Imagine someone says something rude to you. Your emotional brain wants to scream back immediately. That is the fast road. But self-control is the ability to take the slow road. You take a breath. You count to 5. And then you respond calmly. Goleman says this is like having a stop sign in your mind. It gives you a moment to choose. And in that moment, you have power. Chapter 6, Motivation. Let's talk about motivation. Motivation is the energy to keep going, even when things are hard. It is the fire inside you that says, don't stop. Goleman says that people with high emotional intelligence are not controlled by moods. They don't wait to feel like working. They create motivation by remembering their purpose. Why are you learning English? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to talk to people from other countries. When you remember your why, you feel stronger. Motivation also grows from small successes. When you finish a chapter. When you learn a new word. When you understand a video without subtitles. Celebrate it. Say to yourself, good job. That positive feeling becomes fuel for the next step. Motivation is not a magic gift. It's something you build every day, with patience and kindness to yourself. Chapter 7, Empathy. Now we get to the heart of connecting with others, empathy. Empathy is understanding how another person feels. It's when you can look at someone and feel what they might be feeling inside. Think about this. Your friend is quiet in class. You could just ignore it. Or you could ask, are you okay? You look a little tired. That is empathy. Empathy is also important when you are learning a language. When you speak English with someone, remember that they might be nervous, too. If they are struggling to find a word, don't laugh. Wait. Help them gently. If they say, I go yesterday, you can smile and say kindly, oh, you mean I went yesterday. That small kindness builds confidence and friendship. Empathy makes people feel safe. And when people feel safe, they open up. Chapter 8, Social Skills. Finally, we have social skills. These are the tools we use to connect with people. People with good social skills know how to listen, how to speak politely, and how to solve problems calmly. Goleman says social skills are not about talking a lot. They are about building good relationships. It's how you say, thank you, sorry, or I understand. Good social skills make teamwork fun. At work, they help you handle problems. At home, they make family life peaceful. Goleman says social skill is the visible face of emotional intelligence. It is where empathy, self-control, and awareness all come together. Alright, let's take a moment to remember what we learned today. Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence, teaches us that true intelligence lives not only in the mind, but also in the heart. We learned about the 4 big parts. Self-awareness, knowing what you feel. Self-control, managing what you feel. Empathy, understanding others. Social skills, building positive relationships. When you study English, or when you face challenges in life, remember these ideas. They will be your quiet friend. They will remind you to stay patient, to forgive yourself, and to keep moving forward with hope. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Speakly English podcast. I'm your host, Tom. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really helps the podcast grow. Until next time, stay calm, stay kind, and keep growing, both in English and in emotional intelligence. Bye for now.